disaster of a video, please make sure you're subscribed. I know YouTube unsubscribes people. I know people watch and they're not subscribed. I would appreciate you joining the Mucker Army. And also, if you see this, please go and click the pinned comment down below or type in @TheAdamMcIntyre on TikTok. Comment on any video saying that you came from YouTube and make sure to follow and I will send you a thank you message. Look at me doing my duties as a YouTuber. This is very professional of me. Anyway, on with the video. Hi Muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. Thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube channel and on my video today. And I am very excited for today's video because it is an absolute train wreck. Which most of them are, but specifically this one. So we have Deaf Noodles crawling back to the space that he once abandoned and left several bombs in, to put it lightly. We'll get into everything, but basically he's going around DMing everyone that he basically spent months, if not years, just trashing, trying to ruin their reputation, and just dunking on, trying to make a fool of, but then it all came back and kind of kicked him in the ass, and we're gonna get into everything. Before we do, please, 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 if you're seeing this right now, go over to TikTok and follow me. You can click the pinned comment, it'll be linked, or you can type in my username @TheAdamMcIntyre. I would really appreciate it. We're really close to 5,000 followers over there, and I'm uploading like crazy over there, and I would really appreciate it. And if you do, I will be so grateful. I will send you a message saying thank you, but go over and comment, say you came from YouTube, so it is @TheAdamMcIntyre on TikTok. It'll be in the pinned comment. I appreciate everyone that goes over there. I'm having so much fun over there. We're doing live streams every single night and videos every single day. So yeah, please go over and check it out @TheAdamMcIntyre on TikTok. Alright, okay, let's get into this video. So, first of all, before we get into what Kavos has kind of put up here, and the replies are very interesting as well, I thought I would kind of take a little trip down memory lane and go on the Deaf Noodles YouTube channel. Now, if you do not know who Deaf Noodles is, I'm going to keep this very brief, very painfully brief, because there are so many videos on my channel explaining it in, more depth that I don't want to rehash, a lot. But basically, Deaf Noodles was and is a drama channel who was one of the biggest in the game, if not the biggest in the game, around 2 years ago. He was the first to break stories. He was also the first to make up stories, and he was heavily featured on the H3 channels. He had continuous fights with Keemstar. He's suing Keemstar, Keemstar's counters. There's so many different things going on there. But basically, what ended up happening was that, really condensed, keep in mind, Dennis got really huge ego for the sake of becoming one of the biggest drama channels, if not online. Started completely fabricating stories so that he would be the one that would stand out. He would make up stories just so he stood out, all these different things, okay? So that he would be the first to do it, so that he would be the one with the most stories. And that included not fact-checking a lot of stories, just lies upon lies, right? And then he starts getting called out, and Kavos was one of the OGs to call him out, and Dennis made basically a response video that said Kavos made me want to quit YouTube. He basically had this obsession with Kavos then since that video because Dennis couldn't take any criticism, and so there was this years-long battle going on between them two, and it was very one-sided from Dennis to Kavos. Basically, that Dennis would never let go that someone wouldn't think that he is the best in the game on YouTube, or that he is the funniest person in the world. So, as the cracks started to form with Deaf Noodles, people started calling him out more and more for fake stories, for the ego being too big, to all these different things, right? And the more he would get called out, the more he would kind of crumble online, because he would want to prove to you that he was the funniest, that he was the best. And then eventually he ended up making his own Deaf Noodles roast show, which was a live comedy roast show in LA, and it lasted very shortly. It was disastrous. There's videos on my channel going through them in depth, but basically it proved that Dennis was not a funny person, was not an entertaining person, was not all this. Then he would get called out for that, and then he started viciously coming for absolutely everyone. He started making fun of all of us during his live shows, including myself. And then he started suing Keemstar for things that he's also done. He just, basically, he got a bit too ahead of himself. And now, there was at once, I'm actually surprised that he's still making videos, and I don't mean that in a shady way, I just mean that I really don't hear anything from him anymore. Now, if I scroll really back on Dennis's channel, whenever he was making, the drama videos, he was pulling sometimes up to 200k views a video. Like, we're getting, averaging here, about 150k views, which is incredible in terms of talking about Trisha Paytas, or talking about Ethan Klein, or talking about Keemstar, or, you know, different things with Britney Spears or Gabby Hanna. Like, 200k views is incredible. Now, we start scrolling down, and this was whenever he basically dropped the drama act and was basically making fun of doing drama videos, and he was better than it. So he left the entire community and basically did a big this to all of us, that he doesn't need it, and, you know, he's funny enough in himself, and all these different things. So whenever he left it, he left all of the community behind that had once supported him, and was trying his own thing on showing that he was a funny comedian, and then that didn't work, and then he had burned all of his bridges, and he just ruined a really good thing. So whenever we scroll back to his recent videos, oh my god, I'm gonna need to open my door because it is hot as a coochie in here. My goodness. So his recent videos, even from like a month ago, so we'll give him like 2 months worth of people being able to watch the videos. We're pulling about 1k views. 1k to 5k views, it seems to be the standard. Now, that's fine. That's still 1,000 people watching you. That's still 5,000 people watching you. The problem is, Dennis now has a channel of 500,000 people subscribed to him, and I don't even know what the percentage is. It's like 0.000. 1,000 of those people on average are watching the videos now, and that is because people don't trust him anymore, and people don't feel that they can relate to him anymore, and people have been turned off the idea of him, and all the you know, bridges have been burned. So yeah, we're literally, even drama videos he's making now, we're getting around 1,000 views. I mean, we have a pretty successful one here with 6k, 5k, we've got a 10k one, 3k, 9k, alright, 3k, 10k, 2k, we're doing better, 4k, 3k, 3k, 4k, 3k, 2k, alright, so we're very up and down here, so we'll say an average of 3 to 4k views. Now again, he's still making the same content that he was making whenever he was in the drama peak, even though he said that that was so, you know, beneath him, but he's now pulling that. So, very interesting. So, I knew, and everyone knew, we all talk behind the scenes, not specifically about Deaf Noodles, but we all talk, and we all knew that eventually the money would dry up and he would try to come back to everyone, because having a community behind you is really important, and also just being a part of a community is really nice, specifically whenever it's what we all do is so, the next day you can be gone, you know what I mean, like what we're seeing with Dennis, and it's important to support each other, even if you don't necessarily like each other. There's a lot of drama channels that I absolutely adore, and there's a lot that I have, you know, no problem shouting out, and they're the same with me, and that's not even a fake thing. That's just like feeling that it's nice to have a community behind you, or be a part of something, whenever what we do feels so lonely. But anyway, Dennis ruined all of that, and we knew that eventually he would come back because he would need to. With the views that he's pulling right now, and the lifestyle he lives, all I can assume, again, this is just assuming, is that the spending is a lot more than what's being made. And I'm allowed to speculate on this because Dennis recently posted a TikTok basically gloating about that he had spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars last year. So, I mean, we'll see if you're pulling that this year as well. Maybe so, if you're not going to get the community behind you again. So, Kavos tweeted, Deaf Noodles, the man who slandered me, tweeted last year about how he was going to physically assault me, an overall douchebag, has now reached out to bury the hatchet, even though the hatchet was so one-sided with Dennis. Here's my response. So Dennis has said the following. Hi Kavos, hope you're doing alright. I know we didn't see eye to eye about a lot of things, but it was very one-sided. Are we saying that that's the issue here? Everything was really done by the noodle. I know we don't see eye to eye about a lot of things, and that we've had misunderstandings in the past. Basically said that you like wanted to like take him out. Yeah, I mean, is that a misunderstanding? Alright then. I would want us to try and turn a new leaf. I'm sure you do. Would love to be able to chat with you and hopefully bury the hatchet. No pressure. If you don't want to do it, it's perfectly fine. We can do it off camera or however else you want to do it. Let me know. And then Kavos said that his response is this, which basically just says no and a little mean. So here's the response that Kavos has continued to say. Good luck to him turning a new leaf. I barely even befriended people online. I have no want or need to be on good terms with him after everything he's done. To the people who say, why post this online? Because every time he's slandered or said something wrong, it was online for all to see. I have no sympathy for him or his apology. This was only 4 months ago, LMAO. So sorry that I'm not forgiving this psycho. And we have this tweet from Deaf Noodles, because he's so funny, remember, that was his name online. This was to Kavos. I have no interest in boxing you in my ring. If you want to fight, this is my final offer. I will book a flight tomorrow, fly out within the week, and meet you at a mutually agreed street to MURDERU. This is my final offer. So, we're going to read through some of the responses. LOL, why are people trying to shame you for not accepting? You have every right not to. F that guy. Just morons who are either his fans or have conveniently forgot what he did. And I think that is such an important thing. Do we need to rehash and go through absolutely everything that Dennis did within the span of, specifically just a couple weeks, but within the span of a couple months? He was absolutely deranged, coming for all of us, trying to take down people like Kavos, trying to do all this, suing, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I have no mercy for him. There was a time on YouTube I actually, which is so funny to say now, respected Deaf Noodles. But all of that came crumbling down whenever we were shown the real Deaf Noodles. Anyway. Also, for everyone who wants to get mad about me sharing a DM, alright, he was live yesterday asking his chat to help him construct his apology. So it's important to note, yeah, that the apology has now been talked about, constructed, by the, including moderators, 37 people that were on this live stream. This fall from grace needs to be studied. Like, needs to be studied. Anyway, this live is no longer up, so maybe he realized how pathetic he looked, but this apology was what him and his chat came up with together in his live stream yesterday. He blocked me for calling him out for his apologies not being authentic if he can't come up with them on his own. So, he was live yesterday asking his audience to help him construct the apology. So, even the apology isn't even authentic, which is crazy. So, it's already public and also means F all because he needed help to make it. So, then we have someone commenting on Dennis's stream saying, are these apologies even real if you're relying on your chat to tell you what to say? Just curious. I'm sure you'll block me again, but I 100% don't care, and neither does anyone else. Bye, y'all. So, his audience are literally writing, he had 37 people helping him write this. And that's what they came up with. I mean, the intelligence level seems to be shared by them all. Alright, we have someone saying, dude, just tell him you forgive him and it's not a big deal, lol. No need to drag the guy, like he did to absolutely everyone, including Kavos, for months. Alright. Let the hate go, my friend. Even if you don't really feel it, let that man begin the path to bettering himself. Is it bettering himself whenever all the money's ran out and you just need to come back and do what you did to make money? Because we can call a spade a spade. That is what this is. He can begin without my validation or forgiveness. He did unforgivable stuff, and if you forgive, then watch the video on my channel. I'm not fake enough to pretend to forgive someone. Then they said I can, respect that. I legit defended this man's content and called him out for the violence, and he still came for me. I'd stay clear of him. So basically that Dennis was blocking people who were saying that him, wishing violence on Kavos was, a bit much. He blocked them. So people are like, if Dennis really wants peace, he should appear on your content, basically giving you content, and Kavos was like, but I don't want him on my channel. Basically, this is what everyone feels with Dennis. They're, not even willing to be, they don't even want to hear Dennis out, because that's how much Dennis has burned the bridges. Burned, gasoline, everything on it. Crazy. Yeah, I've got to agree with some of the other guys. I get not being respectful, but if someone is genuinely trying to turn their life around, it's all good. He doesn't need my approval, though, to turn it around. I don't need his apology, and I have every right to what I said. And I think that is such a great point, and I think people are not focusing enough on the fact Dennis thought that he didn't care this much about it, that he got his audience to write the apology for him. That stupid-ass lame apology was written with the help of 37 people, and you're telling me that we have to respect and learn to move on? If it was a respectful and moving on, he would have done this in private. The way his messages is we can talk off camera. Then why are you already talking about forgiving and Kavos and all this on your streams? Albeit, you're basically talking to no one anyway on these streams, but like still, it's just weird. So yeah, the responses to this are very mixed, but all I'm gonna say is that my response to this, oh, and by the way, the like quotes are people like defending Kavos, being like, it wasn't even a personal apology to you, it was like an ad-libs apology. You deserve a lot better than a half-assed apology your community that Dennis basically wrote. Alright, okay, and then there was one as well that was like, Kristen Ark, this month is getting better and better. There was someone who basically said, glad some people have a backbone in this community. And now, here's my final take on it. Dennis's ego is still so large that he doesn't even want to do an apology privately. Like, he's using his audience as kind of like a, oh, okay, we'll all do this together if you insist kind of mentality. So then, if Kavos was to tweet this out, Dennis would be like, oh, but it was my audience that wrote it anyway, so it's not authentic, you're not trying to better yourself, and it just seems that you're now trying to, apparently Tipster got this as well, it seems that everyone's gonna get, allegedly, a formulated apology that's very badly written, considering 38 people, including Dennis, wrote it, including moderators, to basically get him back into the community again. But all I'm gonna say is, like, you're already, like, basically back in the community. I mean, you're making drama videos again, which you said you weren't going to do, that wasn't, you know, something you wanted to do anymore. You know, you're a comedian, you don't want to do that anymore. I mean, you're making them, and I mean, you've got an audience. I mean, yeah. You've got a couple thousand people watching, and that's more than if you had said to anyone in the community a couple months ago what we would have thought you would have had, because you were so disrespectful, you were so just destructive, and it was a mess. And it's like, there's so few people that I feel like people have this mentality of like, we don't care, you've done too much. Like, for so many people, including like the likes of like Trisha Paytas, people are like, oh, we'll forgive or whatever like this. In the process of Dennis doing these things, he was doubling down on the fact that he'll never apologize for him. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to provoke people. He's trying to piss people off. He's doing everything he can to get attention, and it worked for a long time, but it's not working anymore because you expose that that's all it was to you. And that just kind of shows that there's not really authenticity there. So I struggle, personally, to feel bad for someone like that. Especially when you don't even have the balls to do an apology yourself and you have to make it a group effort. Muckers, let me know your opinion of this. We can talk down below. Again, please go over and follow me on TikTok. And if you do, please go over and comment and let me know. Please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And yeah, please talk about this down below. Okay, I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye. Oh, I also think it's important to note that I haven't had any personal like conversations with Kavos. So I'm being 100% unbiased here. I've actually had more conversations behind the scenes with Dennis than I have with Kavos. So, like, okay. Alright, bye. Just to clear that up.